Well, good morning to all of you. Welcome, welcome. My name is Terry White. I'm King County Metro's General Manager. I am loving the weather, the vibe, the energy that's coming from this community. And I want to thank the Rainier Beach Community Center for providing us this welcome environment. After years of making strides, serving riders far and wide across the entire Puget Sound region with equitable, safe, and reliable public transportation, we come together today to start a very important countdown. Now, in just a little bit, we're going to count down from 7 days left before we launch. And when we reach 0, that will be our magic number, because that's what the free youth transit pass will cost. $0 per trip, $0 per week, per month, $0 per year. So just to see if you all are paying attention, how much is this going to cost? 0. All right, you're with me. So this countdown is personal. For families who struggle in the face of life's high costs, this will be true relief. A monthly youth pass costs $54. That adds up to $648 a year for a young person who relies on public transportation. The free youth transit pass will save families hundreds of dollars, and that money will stay in their bank instead of going into our fare boxes. Now, this is personal for me too, and slightly emotional, if you will allow that for me. This is the school, South Shore, that I attended, and that 7 is the route that I took from all the way up north, all the way to south to attend this building. So, full circle for me. And I remember personally what it was like when an operator told me that I could keep my fare. This is also personal for many ORCA agencies and policymakers that have joined us here today. Next week, the school bells start ringing, so our efforts couldn't be more timely. I want to give a special thanks to the school districts who are out on the front lines connecting tens of thousands of students with their very first ORCA cards. And in just a few days, those blue and black cards will magically transform into free youth transit passes. Together, we are opening doors for opportunity, for mobility. We're opening doors for freedom. Now, I'm looking forward to today's panel of speakers as we celebrate this important milestone. And our strongest voice in these efforts happens to be our first speaker. He has led our region to fight the climate crisis, to reduce pollution, to electrify and transform our entire 1,500 plus bus fleet, and to give kids the best start they can get anywhere. He is helping to protect the health and well-being of people across the 39 cities in the county we call King. Please join me in welcoming Executive Dow Constantine.
Well, thank you, Terry, and thanks to everyone for being here. I want to single out our transit partners, all the elected officials who have joined us, and of course, most importantly, the youth who are joining us here today. Here we are, basking in the glow of the summer sun as it shines down on this remarkable day. But of course, lurking just around the corner is that first day of school. It's right there. Well, there's a silver lining this year, because in just 1 week, every person under the age of 19 can hop on and board any bus or train or water taxi or streetcar without paying a single cent in fare. The free youth transit pass. It's a generational pivot. And we hope it marks a change for the better, not just for young people, but for all of us. From Everett to Pierce County, from the Kitsap Peninsula to the Cascade foothills, young people will have more freedom to travel, and one less cost to worry about. The free youth transit pass will become an alternative to the driver's license. Every young person across Puget Sound will have their rider's license. Now let's take a look at our team here. Young people will be able to board and tap with their classic blue Orca card or their new black Orca card or show their student ID. And very, very soon, we will all also be able to use our smartphone to get on board. But for now, if you don't have the blue card or the black card or the student ID or the app on your phone, and you're under the age of 19, just get on board anyway and use the transit. We are there for you. We're here in Rainier Beach for many reasons. Several years ago, it was right here at Rainier Beach that students marched for free transit for youth. We applaud those youth for leading the way, for building the foundation we stand on today. And over the years, more and more Orca cards for youth have moved into the hands of those who needed them. Well, that rallying cry was picked up all the way down in Olympia this past session, where policymakers changed state law and changed lives. Senator Marco Elias, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. You are a champion for transit. You are a champion for youth and their families, for creating a grant program that works for transit agencies, not just here in Central Puget Sound, but across Washington State. And there are many, many other essential partners here today working to support youth and mobility in our communities and improve their futures. Now, it is inevitable that I will miss someone, and I am counting on our crack team to identify those folks and make sure they get introduced later in the program. But let me start with our own council members. Councilmember Dave Up the Grove, Gurmai Zahalai, Jean Cole Wells, and Council Chair Claudia Balducci are here with us today. I already mentioned leader on transportation in the state Senate and so much more, Senator Marco Elias. The City of Seattle's Department of Transportation, the Seattle School District led by Superintendent Dr. Brent Jones. I see right out here Alex Hudson from Transportation Choices Coalition. Thank you for your advocacy. The principals of Rainier Beach High School and South Shore Middle School, Principals Ivory Brooks and Justin Hendrickson, thank you. Brooke Bellman, Kimberly Farley, and other leaders from our regional transit agency and lead partner in this, Sound Transit. From Pierce Transit, Grant Martelli and Ryan Wheaton, thank you. From Community Transit, Mark Holmes, thank you. That's Snohomish County. And from Everett Transit, Tom Hinkson, thank you. And I know there are more, and we will recognize them, but the free youth transit pass builds on King County's many years of success in providing Orca passes to thousands of middle and high school students during the school year, and for some, over the summer break. Over the years, we've streamlined fares, we've provided Orca lift fares for people with low incomes, and we've even provided the fully subsidized fares for those with the very lowest incomes in our community. And today I'm excited, in addition to announcing the youth fares, I'm excited to announce one more innovation, even more progress in increasing access to transit. On September 1st, King County Metro will join with our partners at Sound Transit, Everett Transit, and Kitsap Transit in offering a $1 Orca lift fare to riders who need support, saving transit-dependent riders hundreds of dollars per year. See, here's the thing. We've always all known that education is a key to economic mobility. But you know what else we know now scientifically? Mobility is a key. Transportation mobility is a key to economic mobility. You have to be able to get to where opportunity is, and fares should never be a barrier to accessing that opportunity. Together, we will work to increase mobility for all riders so that we can create healthier and stronger communities. We know that these two changes, the free youth transit pass and the $1 Orca lift fare, can help transform ridership today and into our future. The more we ride transit, the more traffic-free and carbon-free our future can be. We encourage every young person to ride transit. Today's youth will be tomorrow's transit commuters, and that's good for expanding opportunity, as well as for traffic, for our economy, and for our environment. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speakers, current and future leaders with strong voices in our community and beyond. Alexis Sorm and Faith Villalobos from the Snoqualmie Valley Youth Corps. Please welcome them.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here today. My name is Alexis, and I am a youth part of the Snoqualmie Valley Youth Corps, here to share about my personal experience of how the King County Metro system has helped me travel through the city for so many years. Growing up, I had a lot of siblings and pretty busy parents, and as you can imagine, there was always a lot of different schedules to look after. So transportation to important places like after-school internships and other extracurricular wasn't always something that was easily accessible to me. Knowing this, I had to rely on other methods like the bus or light rail to get me where I needed to be on a certain schedule. The reliability of accessing consistent routes and bus schedules quickly from just my phone has definitely saved me from feeling like I was stranded or couldn't get to places I needed to be. Even now, as I've grown older, I can see within my close friends and peers just how much transit has assisted them in consistently traveling from one place to the next. Even for a legal driver with a well-working car, gas prices are crazy high right now. Unaffordable, really. But with the light rail system going from Tukwila all the way to downtown Seattle, public transit has really helped my friends save time and money that they would otherwise be wasting. For many Black, Indigenous, and youth of color like us especially, who might not have access to cars, the cost of transit is always a challenge, which is why the free youth fare program is so needed. Transit, frankly, is our transportation lifeline.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Alexis. My name is Faith Villalobos. I am a youth with the Snoqualmie Valley Youth Corps, and the King County Metro system has provided me to navigate internships like the Snoqualmie Valley Youth Corps, which I have had great experiences. It provided me the freedom as a youth and a young adult to explore different opportunities to make a difference for a community which feels like home. It helped me to seek internships, informational interviews, and to seek jobs. I now feel more connected and aware of my community, and the Metro has helped me to first arrive to those places. Now having the youth not be limited or to worry about the fare is going to help broaden those opportunities and make less of a struggle to be able to get to our destinations. I see this changing many lives, and I'm grateful for everyone who has made free fare for the youth a part of our community and for all. Thank you.
Welcome to South Seattle, everybody. How y'all doing? Doing great. Thank you so much. What a beautiful day to gather and celebrate this beautiful cause. I want to thank all of our transit partners, our state partners, our county partners, our youth activists who are up here giving that beautiful remarks. Give them a round of applause again. This was truly a team effort, and we have no greater responsibility in the world than the responsibility to take care of our youth and make sure that they have every single opportunity to succeed and become healthy adults. That's what today is about, and that's why this is such a powerful moment. I remember growing up right here in South Seattle, and when I was a teenager, we moved up the Renton Avenue Hill to Skyway. We moved from one underserved area to an even more underserved area. Probably the most impactful thing that we were missing when I was a kid is access to public transportation. We had one infrequent line near us in Skyway, and we also couldn't afford the daily cost of public transportation for a low-income family. My siblings and I can attest to this, but that was probably the most damaging part of our youth. We heard it directly from our youth activists, that feeling of being stranded, of being isolated, of not being able to connect to the opportunities that you need to grow. And so what Zero Youth Fare means is so much more than a bus. It means youth development, it means jobs, it means after-school activities, it means opportunities, it means healthy young people who can access every single thing that they need to become adults. I want to thank every single one of you for making that possible. Thank you so much. Next up, I have the opportunity to introduce one of my favorite people, my colleague, Councilmember Dave Updegrove.
Well, as my colleague and friend said, this is a beautiful morning. We're surrounded by beautiful people for a great cause. And if then Vice President Joe Biden were here today, he would whisper in your ear, County Executive, this is a big frickin' deal. I think. The thing I'm probably most proud of in my work this year was the opportunity to serve as sponsor of this legislation. In my role as chair of the Regional Transit Committee, and help shepherd this through our city partners and through the county council. And I'm proud to say that we had a unanimous vote of our city partners and a unanimous vote of the King County Council. And it's because, absolutely. And my colleagues you see here today, Councilmember Balducci and Councilmember Cole Wells, also joined as sponsors along with Councilmember Zahalai and I of this legislation. To make sure we got it across the finish line on behalf of the county executive. You know, I think the reason it was unanimous was 4 reasons. Number 1, it saves a bunch of money for a whole lot of families. We're able to keep more money in their pockets. Number 2, it takes away the whole challenge of fare enforcement for youth. You know, a few years back, I sponsored legislation to decriminalize fare enforcement for youth because we saw it disproportionately impacted kids of color. That whole issue goes away now. Everyone under 19 now can ride the bus for free. Takes that off the table. Third, as the other speakers noted, this is going to help develop the next generation of transit riders. By making it more accessible for young people now, they will develop the habits and patterns to get them out of their cars in order to help reduce congestion and reduce climate pollution. And finally, I think the biggest and most exciting benefit, and the reason this is so exciting, is that it opens up a world of opportunity, as Councilmember Zahalai said. The council executive noted that probably the single largest predictor of economic mobility is access to employment. And young people now will have so much more access to so many more job and economic opportunities, but probably more importantly, that freedom and flexibility that just opens up the whole region. And if you're a young person, you know that freedom and flexibility and ability to get out around is so important. This absolutely would not have happened were it not for the Washington State Legislature providing us with the grant funding to be able to do it. And it's a big major policy, and I'm so thankful to Senator Elias and to the Democratic leadership in the Washington State Legislature for investing in transit and in young people. This truly was a partnership between the state and local government, and I hope everyone goes out and takes advantage of this great new program. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I am Christina Walker. I have the honor of serving on the Tacoma City Council, the Pierce Transit Board, and importantly, the Sound Transit Board. As a Sound Transit Board member, I was thrilled to be part of our unanimous vote to make fare free for youth. At Sound Transit, we talk a lot about the future we're building, a 5-line, 116-mile regional light rail network, and supporting the future of youth goes hand in hand with building that future. So as all my colleagues have said, giving today's younger generation seamless access to transit, including transit systems run by Sound Transit's partners, like my board and transit agency, Pierce Transit down in Pierce County. That gives youth direct access to education, after-school activities, jobs, and the programs they need to build their own future. Additionally, today's younger generation will inherit the light rail system we're building. Getting on board now will introduce them to the incredible benefits that transit offers. Low cost, traffic-free, carbon-free. Supporting access to those transit benefits means creating a sustainable Puget Sound in the decades to come. Hopefully, and I would say, we can even say with confidence, free youth fares will inspire a lifetime of transit ridership. And of course, as you all know, a lot of that system already exists today. Not only does Sound Transit currently operate 26 light rail stations and 26 miles of light rail, we also operate 24 express bus routes and 83 miles of Sounder commuter rail. And I'm so thrilled that our region's youth now have free access to this network. And I will say, as a mom of 2 kids under 18, personally, how excited they are. My daughter is thinking about middle school in a year. She is looking at the middle schools on our bus route because she wants to ride the bus to middle school. This is a network of opportunity. Breaking down barriers is good policy. And I want to thank our partners, King County Metro, for the Orca Lift Fair that was announced today. Very exciting, and it has inspired us, you all in the region have inspired us at Pierce Transit to dig into Orca Lift, and we're going to be providing that to the folks who qualify in Pierce County in the coming months as well. This is all just a way that removing barriers to ridership creates more opportunities for everyone. And I'm really proud that we are all working together as a region to make it as easy as possible for everyone to get around. And it is my honor now to thank the leadership in the legislature, my representative, Transit Chair Jake Fye, and to introduce you, as many have already done, to the great Senator Mark Elias.
Executive Constantine, council members, Alexis, Faith, it's so good to be with you. Terry's story reminded me of my own transit journey. As a middle schooler in Snoqualmie County, hopping on community transit in quintessential 1990s life to go to the mall and hang out with my friends, to go to the library and connect with information. For me, that transit lifeline was essential. Now, when I turned 16, I got a driver's license, and like many suburban youth, that became my ticket to freedom. But today, we're giving the youth of Washington an even more powerful ticket to freedom, to a carbon-free future with the free Youth Transit Pass. And so often these innovations start in the Puget Sound and they don't spread much farther. I am proud, because of Move Ahead Washington, that youth in Spokane and Walla Walla, from the Palouse to the Pacific Coast, are going to have access to this same exact program. Youth across Washington will now be able to ride free on transit. And we didn't stop at buses. Our ferries are going to be free soon, and our trains are going to be free a little bit after that. So we want to make sure all of our youth are empowered. I also want to lift up the amazing Major Taylor program that's connecting youth in this community with bicycling opportunities. We are also taking that program statewide. We want the next generation to be walkers and rollers, to be transit riders, and to use our multimodal systems. A lot of people ask me, well, how did you pay for this? And we know Washington has the most upside down tax system in the country, the most regressive. We asked those at the bottom to pay way more than their share to support state government. Well, I'm proud to tell you, because of the Climate Commitment Act passed in 2021, our state's largest carbon polluters will be paying for each of these fares for our young people across Washington state. That is what environmental justice looks like, and that is what a carbon-free future for our state looks like. I want to thank my colleagues. I especially want to single out my ex-roommate, Dave Upthegrove, my dear friend, Ginny Cole-Wells from the Senate. I knew when we passed this policy, we were handing it off into good hands and we would get a solid result. I also just want to thank all of the transit agencies across the state that have very quickly adopted this. We asked them within a very short period of time to change their operations, change their systems, and a lot of systems can't absorb that kind of change. But our transit agencies are nimble, they're on the front lines of fighting climate change, and they made it happen. So big thanks to them too.
Okay, is this working?
That's working.